Hello, welcome to Alyssa Jean's Reviews, and welcome to my review for Star Wars Ahsoka Season 1, Episode 3, Time to Fly. So this review will be full of spoilers if you have not yet seen this episode. And I'm getting this review out much quicker than I got episodes 1 and 2 review out. It took me till Saturday to get that one out, and here it is, Tuesday night, after the episode has just premiered. I'm already getting this review out, so I'm getting a lot better. In fact, I just looked on YouTube and no one else has the review posted yet as I am recording this, so I actually haven't had a chance this time to see what anyone else had to say about this episode, which is probably a good thing. Just come in completely unaffected by anything anyone else says or anyone else's opinion, and just give my pure, unfiltered opinion. And I really enjoyed this episode. I think my one complaint is that it was too short. This was 30 minutes or so. Well, I don't know how long the runtime is when you count the credits, but I noticed I started watching it right at 6 o'clock when it becomes available, and it was 6:29 when the credits started rolling. So shorter than the first two, but I think this is probably more typical to what Mandalorian episodes were, roughly 30 minutes or so. So this is not atypical. It's just a little disappointing because the first two, I think, were over 40 minutes each that we got to see last week, and we both watched both of them. It was an hour and 36 minutes, I think, total. So it felt short when the credits came on. I was like, what? This is over? But this is probably the norm. This is more the norm for The Mandalorian. And speaking of The Mandalorian, I think the big thing that was going through my head as I was watching this episode is, God, this show is so much better than The Mandalorian. And I'm not even talking about just season 3 that everybody likes to take a dump on, which I agreed with all the criticisms of season 3, but I have those same criticisms for seasons 1 and 2. I think season 1 especially is really overrated. Like I just think that it kept doing the Seventh Samurai plot over and over again and get kind of bogged down with these side characters and side plots that were not only uninteresting, but also just were dumb with bad acting and cliche. So I don't get people's love for The Mandalorian season 1 at all. I think it's really overrated. And I'm watching this and going, because this is so much better, because it's just, so far, I feel that it's just getting right to the point. It's more succinct. We're getting right into the action, and there's not any like unnecessary side plots or filler, and the characters are way more interesting. Now, once it's all said and done, maybe I look back on it and go, actually, maybe we didn't need that episode with them flying around and having this space battle. But right now, it seems like we needed it. Maybe in retrospect, I'll feel like, well, we could have probably cut that. But right now, it seems like this was an important episode to get to where we're going in the story. We start off with getting a little bit more of Ahsoka and Sabine learning or training together. And Hu Yang, is that the droid's name? Is teaching Sabine in the beginning, doing a very samurai-looking exercise, and there even sounds the Japanese, and the music that we're playing sounded Japanese, which I know that's what the Jedi are based off of. That's what Star Wars is based off of. But I thought they really dug into the samurai thing there, and that was also good. And really getting more into the characters a little bit before we jump into the action, which I do feel was most of the episode, which I am quite okay with. I wouldn't want every single episode to just be this, but I think you get one episode like this where it's just the space battles. I'm really intrigued by the character of, is her name Shin? I believe, the Jedi Apprentice, the evil Jedi Apprentice. We're not sure quite what their deal is yet. They're not really Sith. But her riding around like Darth Vader in his TIE fighter. And she had that kind of sarcastic remark to Morgan where she was like, congratulations, you almost got them. Like, whoa. Little sass from Shin. I'm interested in this character. I have a feeling that she's going to do something interesting. I've seen theories that she may turn on her master Balin, and I don't think that necessarily means she's going to be good. That she's going to go to the side of Ahsoka. She may turn on him because she wants more power. That kind of deal. So I could see that happening. I have my eye on this character. I'm interested in this character. So yeah, we get the character stuff in the beginning. We get a little bit more into the, that Padawan relationship. I'm kind of over the fact that now that a lot of that started off screen, I'm just enjoying it. For what it is. I'm curious where they're going with this. They're really setting Sabine up to be a really bad Jedi, and what's the point of this? Where they're going? Ahsoka had a line at one point like, "Well, she doesn't need to be a Jedi." I forgot what she said after that. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by that, and then we get into the action stuff, which I really did quite enjoy. I do enjoy a good Star Wars space battle scene. I guess why I felt like it was so short to me is because when you're watching a movie, this is just like one scene and we go into the rest of the movie, but here it's like the space battle and then it's like, oh, credits. Like, what? But that's what happens in a show as opposed to a movie. But I found it exciting as well as intriguing, and it'll be interesting to see how they suss out the story over 8 episodes. As I said, I think so far so good, but we'll see what it looks like in retrospect. I think that the next episode looks like we're gonna be on that red forest planet, and that's them pursuing Ahsoka and Sabine. And perhaps Ahsoka and Sabine trying to stop the ring ship. For some reason, it makes me think of the Expanse and the rings, but that's a totally different thing. But that I think we're going to end up in the other galaxy with Thrawn. My guess is by the end of episode 5, and then spend the last 3 episodes there. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they suss out that story, and then I think we'll get to that other galaxy. We'll see Thrawn and Ezra's definitely there. I really hate the theory that Ezra's secretly that masked evil Jedi figure from last week. Like, I hate that theory. That makes no sense. As it would be so much better if Ezra actually is in the other galaxy where Thrawn is, not somehow Ezra made his way back and then turned evil off screen. Like, that would be so dumb. I would hate that. Maybe I could deal with it if he's kind of doing like a Princess Leia and he's wearing that mask thing and he's undercover or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. I hate that theory, and I hate it with a passion. And would be really upset if that was true, because I think it's dumb. I think Ezra should be off in that other galaxy where Thrawn is, just as everyone believes that's where he is. So I should also mention we get a little bit of more of that New Republic bureaucracy that we saw in The Mandalorian, and we're starting to see kind of how, like, the First Order is going to eventually take power. And, when the sequels came out, when Force Awakens came out, I was like, really, we're going back to the Empire again? Shouldn't we just have the New Republic now? Now I'm saying the New Republic are not very good at running their government, and we saw that in The Mandalorian already, and we see more of that in this episode. Just a lot of that bureaucracy. Very cool seeing Chancellor Mon Mothma, the very, very cool played by the same actress who has been playing her in the modern era, including in Andor. So very fun to see her. And yeah, the behavior of all the senators is unsurprising in this new republic. It's already been established to be, full of bureaucracy and not they're not really the best. And kind of honestly was like the old republic, if we're being perfectly honest with ourselves here. So we had Hera dealing with that bureaucracy. Now I have a feeling that Hera's just not going to be sidelined now because of that. She'll get into the action somehow. Like, we got to have this character involved. Very cool to see her son, Jason, and he says like I want to be a Jedi too. She doesn't, mention the fact that his dad actually was a Jedi. I would hope that she has revealed that to him at some point. But he may be force sensitive because his father was a Jedi. So I don't know if they're going to touch on that at all in this show. But I mean, I did find it funny or interesting that he was like, I want to be a Jedi too. Like, is he going to end up going to Luke's school or? Got my eye on that as well, although I don't think it's going to be like a big plot point in this show. I'm just kind of mildly curious of it. So yeah, we kind of got that aspect. Have my eye on that. I have a feeling that Hera is going to do the old like Star Trek thing where they defy the admirals and go off. I mean, she won't get a fleet, obviously, but she'll go off and help Ahsoka, I think. I don't think. Oh well, this character's just off the show now. So I do think we're moving toward characters going to that other galaxy where Thrawn is. So I think Hera, I would hope, would also go with them. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm hooked. I am interested. I found this episode to be very exciting. So yeah, quite enjoyed it. I wish it was longer, but we'll have to kind of see, as I've said before, what the pacing looks like in retrospect as we get through the season. All right, so let me go ahead and give my rating out of 10 for season 1, episode 3. And you know what? I hadn't really thought about it, so I'm just like going to give a rating on the spot. And why the hell not? Let's give it another 9. Now that I've done that, I'm sure that all the other reviews that I haven't watched yet, that once I watch them, oh, this episode sucked. It was just not anywhere near as good as the first two, or it was worse than the first two, or I don't know. But I quite enjoyed it, and it's one that I think, because it's right in the middle of a serialized story, that I could retroactively think less of it later. But in the moment, I thought it was a good piece to the story that I quite enjoyed. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, just as I gave the first 2 episodes. All right, so that does it for my coverage of Ahsoka for this week. I hopefully will be able to do one again next week. I make no promises. But in the meantime, check out my Star Trek stuff as well. I'm going to start covering Star Trek Lower Decks for sure once that starts on September 7th. So please subscribe if you have not already, and I shall see you really soon. And goodbye, everyone.